Not all horrors are born in the spotlight. Sometimes the darkest tales lurk in the shadows, waiting to send chills down your spine when you least expect it. Today, we uncover terrifying, lesser-known films that might just haunt your dreams. Step into a world where fear knows no bounds. Are you ready? Number 10. Malibu Horror Story. If you're looking for a movie that will give you chills, quicken your heart rate, and leave you with a feeling of unease long after the screening is over, Malibu Horror Story is an item to add to your list. This horror film is like a malicious shadow that sneaks up when you least expect it and doesn't let go until the very end. The production draws you into a dark and terrifying mystery hidden beneath the surface of luxurious and seemingly safe Malibu. A group of young documentary filmmakers travel to an abandoned canyon to investigate the disappearance of 4 teenagers that occurred a decade earlier. What was supposed to be a simple investigation quickly turns into a nightmare when the team discovers that something far more sinister lurks in the darkness. Trapped in a maze of frightening phenomena and paranormal powers, the documentarians are forced to confront an indescribable horror that seeks to destroy them. The deeper they enter the canyon, the more the line between reality and their worst nightmares begins to blur. Number 9. Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. Gonjiam Haunted Asylum is a film that takes you into the middle of the terrifying and suffocating atmosphere of an abandoned psychiatric hospital, where the line between reality and your worst nightmares blurs in a way that makes your hair stand on end. A group of young people, eager for thrills and fame, decide to take a trip to the legendary Gonjiam Hospital, known for its macabre stories and mysterious deaths of patients. Their plan is simple: to record every horrific moment live to gain thousands of viewers and become internet celebrities. But what was supposed to be an exciting adventure quickly turns into a desperate struggle for survival. As they delve into the dark corridors of the hospital, they begin to experience inexplicable, terrifying phenomena. Doors slam for no reason, strange noises echo, and their cameras capture something they should never see. With every step, the hospital seems to take on a life of its own, turning into a maze of fear and madness. Definitely worth watching this film if you are a fan of horror movies that cause real anxiety and make you feel a shiver down your spine. Every scene is steeped in suspense, and what you see can make you stay for a long time with images that will haunt your dreams. Number 8. A Dark Song. A Dark Song is a film you can't miss. It's an intense, dark, and unsettling experience, perfect for those looking for something truly frightening and profound. It's scary not by what it shows, but by what it suggests: a growing sense of horror, isolation, and impending disaster. This is a horror film that gradually tightens the noose around the viewer, not allowing him to breathe even for a moment. The plot tells the story of a woman who, distraught after the loss of her child, decides to take a desperate step to perform an ancient occult ritual to contact the soul of her dead son. With each passing day, the ritual becomes more dangerous and reality begins to blur. As the two protagonists dive deeper into the secrets of black magic, what seemed to be merely an attempt to contact spirits turns into a terrifying nightmare from which there is no escape. Number 7. Saint Maud. The next offering is a story about a deep obsession that turns into something much darker and more disturbing. The film tells the story of a young nurse, Maud, who becomes a religious fanatic after converting to Catholicism. Convinced that her mission is to save the soul of her patient, the dying dancer Amanda, Maud becomes embroiled in increasingly dangerous and terrifying activities. As Maud plunges into her hallucinations and mystical visions, the line between reality and her warped faith begins to blur. Events escalate to the point where it is impossible to distinguish between truth and madness. The film constantly builds tension, leading the viewer through an increasingly claustrophobic and psychotic experience. The atmosphere is heavy, and Maud becomes a character whose obsessions inspire both pity and fear. This film is an excellent choice for those who appreciate horror that is more subtle but ultimately much more disturbing. Number 6. The Canal. Another movie will make you wonder about every creak of the floor and every shadow in the corner of the room. If you like horror movies that send chills down your spine and leave you with a feeling of uncertainty, The Sewer will definitely give you that terrifying experience. The film slowly draws the viewer into a nightmare full of darkness and anxiety. It tells the story of a film archivist, David, who discovers that his house hides a terrifying secret. When the man finds an old film documenting a brutal murder that took place in his home, his life begins to unravel. Over time, David begins to notice strange phenomena, hauntings, dark figures lurking in the shadows, and images that seem to come from hell itself. Is it worth watching? Definitely yes, if you're looking for a horror film that not only scares you, but also leaves you with an uneasiness that doesn't go away long after the film ends. Number 5. Ghost Mansion. Another suggestion is a film for those who are looking for a horror film that does not so much shock with blood, but gradually puts the viewer in a state of paranoia and fear, leaving the viewer with the feeling that something sinister may have entered his own home with him. The Cursed Skyscraper is a film that tells of a dark secret hidden in the heart of a gloomy, abandoned skyscraper, standing like a shadow of the past on the outskirts of the city. A group of daredevils, tempted by the desire for profit and curiosity, go inside, not knowing that they are crossing the threshold of a place where time has stopped and evil is awakening anew. With each step, the dark corridors seem to tighten around them, and the echo of their steps turns into murmurs and whispers that seem to come from the very structure of the building. Something sinister lurks within the walls of the skyscraper, something that has waited years for new victims. Number 4. Terrified. Terrified, also known as Aterrados, is a horror film that takes the viewer to Buenos Aires, where ordinary life is brutally disrupted by unimaginable evil. The film begins with small but disturbing events in one of the houses, which quickly develop into a real nightmare. The residents begin to experience increasingly frightening and inexplicable phenomena: screams at night, invisible forces pushing people around, malicious demons that seem to know the characters' deepest fears. As the events become more intense, a group of specialists in paranormal phenomena is called in to investigate, but they discover something far more terrifying than they could have imagined. Terrified surprises with its intensity and rawness. The film does not spare the viewer brutal and disturbing images, creating an atmosphere of constant tension. If you like horror movies that can really evoke fear and keep you in suspense from beginning to end, Terrified is definitely worth watching. It's a production that not only scares you, but also draws you into its dark and frightening reality. Number 3. The Haunting in Connecticut 2. The film delves into the dark recesses of the human mind and deals with the subject of extreme desperation. It tells the story of a family who moves into a new house, unaware of the nightmare that lurks within. From the first days, they begin to experience frightening phenomena, from strange sounds coming from dark corners to inexplicable and violent visions that become more and more intense. At night, as darkness envelops the house, something unseen begins to approach. The residents feel as if they are being watched, and fear of the unknown quickly turns into terror. Trying to find answers, they uncover a dark secret, a past that the house has hidden for years and now demands a bloody payoff. Every step, every whisper seems to be a provocation to an inevitable clash with forces that have no mercy. This film is not for the faint-hearted. It is full of scenes that can give you chills and leave you feeling uneasy long after the screening is over. Number 2. Hell House LLC. Hell House LLC is a horror film that doesn't let you rest, driving a pin of anxiety deep into your mind with every shot. Shot in a found footage style, it makes every scary moment seem even more real and imminent. The viewer is drawn into a vortex of unease, watching the events as if he himself were on the spot, in the dark and claustrophobic corridors of the hotel. The story sees a group of friends who decide to organize a haunted house in the abandoned Abaddon Hotel, full of dark past. What they don't know, however, is that the place hides a terrifying secret that is coming to light more and more every day. As they begin preparations, inexplicable and disturbing things begin to happen. The cameras record strange phenomena, flashing lights, closing doors, and shadows that have no right to be there. All this leads up to the fateful opening night when something unimaginably evil is unleashed. Number 1. The Pact. If you're looking for a horror film that skillfully builds tension and then relentlessly unloads it in a way that is memorable, then this is definitely the house for you. Supernatural Pact not only scares you, but also draws you into a story full of dark secrets that are reluctant to come to light. It is a story about ghosts that do not find peace, and how the past can become a nightmare from which there is no escape. The main character of the film, after the death of her mother Annie, returns to the family home to face the past. The house she once knew now seems to be haunted by dark, sinister forces. Every corner hides a secret, and shadows seem to live a life of their own. Annie soon begins to experience unexplainable, frightening phenomena. As she uncovers secrets related to her family's tragic past, she realizes that something monstrous is hiding within the walls of the house. And that's it. Some of the scariest hidden horror gems. These films may be obscure, but their terror is unforgettable. Thanks for watching, and until next time, sleep tight, if you can.